Hi Year 11. The next topic that we're going to look at is the muscular system, okay? So if you've just looked at the skeletal system, we now build on that with muscles, alright. We're going to start off, we're going to look at muscles in the front of the body, moving on to muscles in the back of the body. So, we've got the diagram there in front of us, but I will show you if it's a bit easier as well on me. So we're going to start off, the first muscles at the front of the body that we know are our deltoid muscles here. They're right on the edge of your shoulder, you can feel it there, and obviously on your opposite shoulder as well. Next one down, your pectoral muscles. These are at the top of the chest, above your lower part of your body. The pectorals are your big muscles in your upper chest. Next one is our biceps. Now these are at the front of the arm. It stands for two muscles. You don't need to know that though. It's the muscle at the front of your arm, the upper part of your arm. Okay? GCSE exam might ask you to write where are your biceps found. You would then have to write they are found at the front of the upper arm. Okay? Abdominals, these muscles in the middle of our body here, we'll see what they do later on, but again people might refer to them as your six-pack, things like that. It is abdominals, they're the key muscles you need to know, right in the middle of your body. The last one you need to know at the front of your body is your quadriceps, these big muscles at the top of your legs, the front, they're your quadriceps. Going on to the back of your body, an easy way to demonstrate this one is if you look at my hoodie, at the back there where my hood is, that is covering the trapezius, which is the muscle at the back. It's like a triangular shape, okay? The next one is your triceps. These are the muscles at the back of your arm, so the upper back of the arm. Make sure you say that. Do not get them mixed up with the biceps, which are at the upper front. Triceps at the back. Your latissimus dorsi, that's the muscle that's in the middle of your back, to the side slightly. There's two of them. As you can see on that picture there, there's two just to the sides. You can feel a dead bony bit in the middle of your back there. They're just at the side of that, a bit softer there, okay? You've got your gluteals, simple bit for that, that's where your bum is, okay? These muscles must be referred to as your gluteals, dead powerful muscles, used in sport a lot. And then finally we've got your hamstrings, they're at the back of your upper leg, well, the upper part of your leg at the back, okay? Make sure again you do not get them confused. They might ask you to write about where the hamstrings are found. You must be able to say they are found in the upper leg at the back, as opposed to saying the front, okay? And finally, your gastrocnemius. Now, a lot of our younger students will call them the calf. That's baby language. Now, we need to use GCSE terminology, and that is the gastrocnemius, okay? So that muscle at the lower part of your leg at the back is the gastrocnemius. So, I'm going to go to this side now, because we're going to look at what these muscles actually do. So we've got your deltoid muscle. It lifts the arm straight outwards, so it does help that position. But as well, I always see it as it really helps you to do abduction, which is taking the arm away from the body. Good example of using that in sport. They might ask you for a sporting example. It is to actually do like a volleyball block or a save as a goalkeeper. Trapezius, this causes extension of the neck. So if I was going to head a ball, looking up, lifting my head up, that is extension of the neck there. The example on the screen is a scrum going in and looking forward, going into the scrum. Your latissimus dorsi, that allows you to adduct at the shoulder joint. So if I've gone in that position there to save the ball, it's then bringing it back down. It's your latissimus dorsi that does that. If you're in the gym, it might be a lat pull down or even a pull up, okay? Pectorals, these cause adduction and flexion at the shoulder joint. So pushing the body up off the floor. Press ups, bench press, they're all working your pectoral muscles. You can see it working there, okay? Likewise, in sport, it could be doing a handoff in rugby. It could be trying to push for a position, trying to hold a position on the floor in gymnastics. Biceps, these cause flexion at the elbow. Simple, we looked at this in the skeletal system. They cause the elbow to come up, so we've got flexion there, okay? That is the bicep muscle that's working there. So the opposite, that could be doing a bicep curl, she was saying weight training, or even dragging someone off the floor and again, rugby, throwing them out of play, or even holding the reins if horse riding. Triceps then cause extension. So when maybe doing a backhand shot in tennis, extension is obviously from flexion, extension, the arm goes straight, we're playing a shot. Could be even when you're doing a push-up, there's extension of the arm there, your tricep is working. Abdominals, they cause flexion at the hip. Simple, so from that position, a bit to there, that is flexion. So that could be a gymnast on the rings, holding the rings, trying to lift the leg. They're using the abdominals to lift that leg up, okay? Or going in that sort of position there. So, Quadriceps, they extend and straighten the knee joint. So if my knee's bent in that position, that's flexion of the knee, my quadriceps create extension. Nice and simple, that one. Could be a long jumper diving off the board. They'll use that because they try and straighten their legs out in the air. Hamstrings will straighten the hip, okay, and cause flexion at the knee joint. So we're looking at that. My hamstrings are now working to flex that knee joint. Your runner would use that maybe when they're doing the leg drive. Last few, gluteals. They cause extension at the hip and add up the hip. So a runner uses them in the leg drive action again. That my gluteals are working my hip to make sure that I can keep moving forward. And finally, your gastrocnemius, it straightens at the ankle. So if that was my foot, my gastrocnemius lets me point it. It's quite hard to show you, but a gymnast will be pointing the toe. That's using my gastrocnemius now, whereas that's not, that is, okay? Gymnast needs to point the toes. Last bit, we're looking at antagonistic muscle pairs. So, these are muscles that work together. There's only two in the body. We're looking at biceps and triceps, and quadriceps and hamstrings at the back. One works, the other rests. So if it was the bicep working, the triceps relaxing. My tricep now works, biceps relaxing. Simple as that, okay? You need to know that agonist in an antagonistic pair means it's working. We say, imagine if you're in agony, you're tensed, you're feeling pain, it's working, okay? So the agonist is something that's tensed, it's working, it's contracting. The antagonist is the relaxing muscle. This is the muscle that's not working. Just means antagonist. Agonist working, ant, not, and obviously agonist again, working, so not working. And finally, you've got a fixator. They might ask you about that. A fixator muscle means it's holding things in place. Predominantly, a lot of things to do with like your abdominals. They're constantly a fixator muscle. But your trapezius could be one as well to stabilise the bicep in a bicep curl.